and welcome back to another episode of the Blue Honor Vlog. I'm Kay Williams, author of op-dec Operation Deceit, the Triloquia trilogy, and Blue Honor, the U.S. Civil War drama that this vlog and my blog are named for. So it is October. Holy cow. This year went fast. It has felt like 1,000 years, and I know you know what I'm talking about. It is unnerving, all of the horrendous stuff that has been going on in my country. As you know, I'm from the United States, and I am grateful more than ever to live in New York State. And that's no joke, because the stuff that is happening all over the place is unreal. And I can't believe how much people are just standing by and allowing it. That's the thing that I never thought would come to pass. You know, because traditionally, Americans don't take this stuff on the chin. And yet here they are folding like, cheap towel. It's unsettling. And needless to say, my grandfather did not fight World War II for this. Sorry, I have a pesky hair on my lip. That's what you get for touching your hair, not letting it go. A little coffee, keep the pipes sluice. So speaking of traditions, October, as you know, bringing a heck of a lot of traditions. In recent years, we've really gotten on the pumpkin spice kick, especially for people who look like me. And I can't say that, I don't get roped up in that. I tend to not follow the crowd, but if it's pumpkin, October is my favorite time of the year. Fall, autumn. For me, August 1st is the start of it. I will say September 1st on the button, at least. But October really starts, you hear the murmurs of it coming, and I get really happy. This is my happy place. Halloween probably being the number one cause of that. I have loved Halloween, and if you go back and you look at my open book blog hops from October, you will get a good dose of what Halloween has been like for me. For instance, the one that we did, it was October 31st of 2016. So it's been quite some time, almost 10 years. That's amazing to go back and look. You can see some pictures from bygone days of Halloween. There's a couple pictures on there. There's me and my brother dressed as Scarecrow and Lion. So I was very little. And then you can see one of the pumpkins I had carved. And I have a lot of decorations. You'll find on other posts that I share the way that I've decorated the house for the season. So like this year I purchased the large Haunted Mansion Doom Buggy, which will be in my window, and I'm going to have some drops and stuff to go behind that, and it's going to look like a little section of the ride in my front window. I love doing the front window. I think I must have been a Macy's window dresser at some point in a past life. I'm just kidding. I really like what they do. So yes, the movie Mannequin is tip top for me. I loved that movie. It was fantastic. Thank you, Kim, for playing Mannequin. And what a great film. So fun. So cool. Love her. It's really weird that I've never watched Sex and the City to speak of. I've seen a few episodes, and it has never drawn me in as much as I love Kim. And it's crazy, right? But we all have our tastes, and mine doesn't usually go towards things like that. So that's probably why. So traditions, it's incredible how much stuff repeats year after year. And sometimes we just tend not to even think of it as a tradition. But I'll tell you, going out trick-or-treating has been a tradition. I know it is for a lot of families, and we look forward to that point where we grow up and we stop doing that. Maybe we can bring a cousin or a little sibling out. Somebody else's kid will volunteer and help us so we can continue to dress up. I really think that cosplay came out of that love of not just theater, but Halloween dress up and costuming and things like that. And just those of us who really wanted to go the extra mile. Last year I went all out to make my daughter a fairy with moving wings, and her outfit was all purchased top tier, because I don't have a sewing machine, so I can't put anything together yet. My grandmother was a seamstress, so I know and believe in my ability to be able to sew things myself. The fact that I work full time, I do this the rest of the time. There's not a lot of time in there to do that, but I know that there is a tradition with most families to make their costumes. I will buy garments and then piece it together in a very realistic way. For instance, this year she's going to be a Jawa, and I'm excited about that. So she's been practicing, saying "Utidi" and in all the different lines that we could get out of Star Wars, and thanks to YouTube people who track that, and they have like the videos with each scene of the Jawas speaking. I got her light up glasses. She has a dark out suit, and it's gonna be excellent. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope she is as well. I know she loves being fairies and kittens, but she plays that every day. So I'm like, let's do something special and different for Halloween. And that was the selection. And I don't know if you can see it back here, but we have started to piece together the Ghostbusters outfit for 2026. So this is the pack that she'll wear on her back. And we have up there, you'll see the thing that Egon uses to scan. And we have a trap. So she's all ready. She just needs her jumpsuit that I gotta get her. So she loves Ghostbusters. And I actually have a Slimer replica sitting over on a stool in the corner by my easy chair. So we are nerds in this house like you wouldn't believe. So those are traditions for us, is piecing together a costume, kind of go cosplaying Halloween, and picking something interesting and great. So early on, me, my best friend who's her aunt, and her dressed up as the Powerpuff Girls. So we took each role. I was Blossom. I always mix it up. My friend was Buttercup, and she was Bubbles, of course, because she has little blonde pigtails. And I found her a purple octopus to carry with her little thing. She had a real blue dress with a belt and the little white stockings and the Mary Janes. It was adorable. And I think her first costume, if I remember correctly, was R2-D2, and I dressed up as Leia to carry her around. She was pretty little. Not too little to eat candy, but too little to walk too far, so I frequently had to pick her up. And let's see, what other costumes has she had so far? She was Scooby-Doo, and Finn dressed up as Shaggy turned into a dog. So that was fun. Daphne was me, and her aunt swept in again to be Velma. So that was a lot of fun. And that's pretty much how we keep going from year to year. She's been Ghost Spider, and that was a fun costume. So just a lot of fun. She had an outfit for a while where she had Minnie Mouse's dress and a little black leather jacket that she would wear to daycare. And that was cute. So in the off time, we costume quite a bit as well. Outfits that would probably be considered Disney bounding. outfits. A lot of fun. So those are traditions in my family. Another thing that we would do is bake sugar cookies, cut out sugar cookies. So we have the little cookie cutters, and we'll do that with bats and pumpkins and owls and witches. And she has a lot of fun with that, as me and my brother did growing up. My mom will, mix up some homemade icing and slather that on the cookies. They don't look like $1 million cookie. She doesn't go all out with the royal icing and the edging and the drawing and everything. She just wipes that icing on. I prefer the sugars because I feel like you can still see the cutout, because there's impressions and stuff on the cutout and the designs, which I really like to be able to see, and I like the sugars better. You can flavor the icing, which is fun. We've done lemon, usually a lemon flavoring or almond flavoring, but you can get a lot of different flavors out there, like if you like mint, for green, or green apple for the green, things like that, because sugar cookies are pretty easy to add a little icing flavor to like that without upsetting the apple cart. Banana even for the yellow, we've done that, and cherry or almond flavor for the red stuff. So those are fall Halloween traditions. Another tradition that we often engage in is going apple picking, and we do that usually in September, not October. But I'll be baking apple pies and apple crisps. Could be an apple cake this year, could be muffins, things like that. Baking is a huge part of fall tradition for my family, and we love it. Watching Halloween specials like It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and I think Halloween is Grinch Night is what it's called. I'm trying to think of Young Frankenstein. I watch every year on Halloween. It is like my favorite movie. I just recently did a YouTube video where I talked about my 5 genres, top 5 films in 5 different genres. Top film in 5 different genres, not to confuse you. And I said Young Frankenstein is phenomenal. The directing, the cinematography, the writing, literally everything in that was so on point. It's hard to argue that it isn't a perfect film. It is absolutely wonderful, and I love Gene Wilder for that, because he did write it, he did star in that. And Mel Brooks will probably always have a special place in my heart as best director. Throughout my lifetime, he has made such fantastic and fun movies. I love him, and he's a trip. He is hilarious. So those are pretty much all the traditions. I mean, jack-o'-lantern carving, making decorations. I have a couple cardboard cutouts. A friend of mine had bought a new backpack, and there were cardboard pieces in there that look like tombstones. So dear daughter and I are going to work on those to make them tombstones. So she's excited about that. That's coming up. So she's kind of thinking to herself how she wants to do that, and what they're going to say or what they're going to look like. Other films, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, the old classic Universal movies, and I love watching. I will start late August, September, and I will just start watching horror films left and right. And one of my favorite things to do is watch Hellraiser at about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning with that little, dim light and stuff in the house. And it's got like a creepy feeling, almost like you see in Hellraiser itself, that blue light, and it just really sets the scene. And then, Killer Clowns is a great afternoon movie. What a trip that film is. It is so rotten. It's wonderful. It's one of those. I recommend. And it's a lot of fun because you'll go to places like Spirit Halloween and you'll see the giant killer clowns. And I wish I had a load of money that I could just spend on these things, because if I had a piece of property, I would want to make like a Halloween walkthrough with stuff. It would be fun, like a haunted house sort of thing. That would be a lot of fun. I've done those before. I've been like a vampire in one, and it's a lot of fun, especially when the kids come through and, you know, oh, I'm not scared, and they start with you, and you're just like, and they run. It's kind of hilarious because they know at some level this is just a person posing, and then on another level they're like, or is it? Yeah. I just love that. So much fun. And you know, fall is just wonderful. I love just taking in the view of the color change. And, you know, of course, winter is on the horizon. That's not so good. But I don't mind the cooler nights, the warmish days. You know, I could still wear a long sleeve shirt or a t-shirt some days. I get to break out my sweatshirts for the evening, which is nice because I have quite a collection of warm things. I'm not so good on summer, even though I have my collection of t-shirts. I'm just not a summer person. I definitely prefer it to winter any day. So spring and fall first, spring, and then a lot of summer. But then in July, everything just gets so hot and oppressive, and it's just not a lot of fun. Like, I didn't really get to enjoy my hammock chair this year, which was disappointing. I wanted to sit out and enjoy some sun and fresh air, you know, and it's just way too hot every day for that throughout July. So that really sucked. So hopefully in the fall, the yellow jackets will let me sit in peace, because you know how they get. As soon as they see something that kind of resembles a flower, or they're coming to me because they're like, I know you have access to food, so give it up, human. They're so pushy, and I've been stung by them a couple of times just for existing. One actually got into my bedroom somehow, and I rolled over in my sleep and got stung on my arm up here. Oh, that hurt. That was like getting shot in the arm. It was jarring and woke me up out of a sound sleep. It hurt so bad. And I've been woken up a couple of times. I've woken up to another one that had gotten in there somehow. There was a bush out front that's no longer there that had like flowers and scent that attracted them. So then they would find their way in through my window, crawling in, pushing around the screens, because at that time you have your window cracked because fresh air at night is so good. But the bees that find their way in because they smell sweets or they smell something and they think that they can get food, and they're starving at that point. So what happens is that their nests are over with for the season, and the eggs are laid. The queen kicks them all out. You know, she's protecting the eggs for next year. All of them will be kicked out to die, and they start over again next year. So they're out here desperately trying to find food. They're hungry, you know. Nothing has a drive to die. It has a drive to survive. So, but he crawled into bed with me and then zapped me for it. Dude, doesn't that track? But yeah, so leave me some comments about what your traditions are. What are some of the films that you like to watch? Do you go to plays like Arsenic and Old Lace, or do you watch the film at home? Have you ever seen Arsenic and Old Lace? I recommend it. It's great. It's great either on stage or the film with Cary Grant. Highly recommend it. So let me know what your favorite movies are. to roll out and watch this season some of the foods and things that you look forward to eating. And if you're doing cosplay or you have a little one who is, let's hear about those costumes. All right, I will see you back here next time. Have a great fall.